Text, James 1, 19 to 27. The exhortation begins with a call to attentiveness. Let every man be swift to hear, slow to speak, slow to wrath. These words are not presented as a means of attaining righteousness, but as the outflow of a reality already established. The audience addressed has already been brought forth by the word of truth, James 1, 18, having been begotten according to divine will. What follows, therefore, describes the character of that new life, not the conditions for obtaining it. To be swift to hear reflects a posture shaped by the implanted word. This word is not external law engraved on stone, but an inward reality written upon the heart. It is living and abiding, producing a disposition of receptivity rather than resistance. The slowness to speak and to wrath further reveals a life no longer governed by the old order of striving and contention, but one resting in what has already been accomplished. For the wrath of man worketh not the righteousness of God. Righteousness here is not something progressively achieved through human effort. It is the righteousness revealed and given apart from works, a righteousness that stands complete. Human anger, rooted in the old covenant framework of demand and performance, cannot produce what has already been established through fulfillment. Wherefore lay apart all filthiness and superfluity of naughtiness, and receive with meekness the engrafted word. The laying aside is not a call to self-reformation as a prerequisite for acceptance, but a recognition of what no longer belongs to the new creation. The engrafted word is already planted within. It is able to save the soul, not in the sense of future deliverance from wrath, but in the present realization of life and wholeness. But be ye doers of the word, and not hearers only. The doing of the word is not adherence to an external code, but the expression of what has been internalized. The contrast is between mere acknowledgement and lived reality. To hear without doing is to remain in illusion, like one who observes his natural face in a mirror and forgets his true identity. The mirror reveals what is already there. It does not create it. Forgetfulness, then, is a failure to recognize what has been made true. But whoso looketh into the perfect law of liberty, and continueth therein. This law of liberty stands in contrast to the law that bound and condemned. It is perfect because it brings completion, lacking nothing. It is liberty because it frees from the cycle of demand and failure. To look into it is to behold a finished reality. To continue in it is to remain in that awareness. Such a one is not forgetful, but established, and is described as blessed in his deed, not because of merit, but because of alignment with truth. If any man among you seem to be religious and bridleth not his tongue, this man's religion is vain. External expressions of devotion, disconnected from inward reality, are exposed as empty. The bridling of the tongue reflects an inner transformation, not a surface discipline. The heart and the speech are inseparably linked. Pure religion and undefiled before God and the Father is this. What follows is not a checklist for acceptance, but a description of what flows from a heart that knows its identity. To visit the fatherless and widows in their affliction reflects the character of divine compassion. To keep oneself unspotted from the world speaks of a separation not achieved by effort, but arising from a new nature. Throughout the passage, the emphasis remains consistent. The word is implanted, the righteousness is established, the law is fulfilled, and the identity is revealed. The exhortations do not point forward to something yet to be attained, but describe the life that emerges from what has already been accomplished and made complete.